I believe Psycho Tom is about to re-emerge on Sunday at San Francisco.
Mama, there goes that man.
And I love the 49ers. I loved them through college. And then when they skipped over me 6 times, I started hating the 49ers. And that's just the way it went down.
Anytime you're jilted, somebody turns you down and you got out of a relationship, they didn't want to be with you anymore, you're like, okay, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to show you made a mistake.
If that man's there, he gonna steal your girl.
There was a story in free agency. One of the teams, they were interested, and all of a sudden they weren't interested at the very end. I was sitting there thinking, you're sticking with that motherfucker? Are you serious?
Tom probably had no desire to go to that team, but now it's like, why don't you want me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I look back, I'm like, there's no fucking way I would have went to that team.
It just is what it is. You better be ready for it.
Steal your girl?
You better be ready for it.
Tom Brady, the greats, will find any reason to be motivated to try to kill you.
They said they didn't want me, and I know what that means. I know what that feels like, and I'm going to fuck you up because of that.
Ouch! Ouch!
Not a 49er fan anymore. Yeah, that's long gone.
No! Do I believe that he wants to kill the 49ers? Because he's like, bro, y'all, look what y'all got. Y'all got a chance to get the GOAT. And they said, nah, we good. We pass. We'll keep driving down the street with what we got.
It's not surprising to me that the game went the way that it did. And it's not surprising to me that they won. I mean, we were watching that last night. I'm calling you a liar if you were sitting there like, there ain't no way they lose this game. As soon as they scored the second touchdown, or the first touchdown, I'm like, it's over. He's going to win this game. This is what Tom Brady does. And in the playoffs, we're just talking about experience with the Niners and everyone else. No one has more experience than him. Mm-hmm. And that team has been together.
That's real experience right
there.
So
it's really about health and getting some momentum, but they don't really need to feel good about themselves to beat you. And that's what you saw last night.
Every other exec and coach in the NFC had to be watching that. Like, when they saw Brady come back, they just hung their heads like, no.
He can still play at an extremely high level when it has to be done, right. When the season has to get saved. I want him at quarterback as much as I want anybody out there, including Mahomes or Burrow or anybody of the others.
Never got a chance to go out there. I was supposed to go out there in 2008, and we had it all set up. We were talking all off season, my first time going out there, and then tore my ACL in week 1. So I had to wait another 8 years, went to the new stadium, so I never even got to play in Candlestick. And then had the one experience, which was really fun. And it was just great after the game. It was nice for my parents not to have to travel.
This is Tom Brady to Jim Gray about what he said on The Shop. There's private things for me that are going to remain motivational for me. They know who they are. It's fine. Everyone has a choice to choose. I think what you realize is there's not as many smart people as you think. That's just the reality. I think it'd be a no-brainer if you said, hey, you've got a chance to get Wayne Gretzky on your team, or you got a chance to have Michael Jordan on your team. Oh, we don't need him. No, thanks. We're good. In my mind, I'm kind of thinking, okay, let me go show those teams what they're missing. At the same time, let me go prove to the team that did bet on me, the team that really showed they really wanted me and committed to me, that I'm not going to let them down.
I'll have a great group of family and friends there that are all supported, people from growing up in the neighborhood. My parents still live on Portola Drive in San Mateo, same house I grew up in. And, I was just a lucky kid growing up in the Bay Area. It was a great place to grow up in.
A lot of the extra motivation, Skip, is trying to get this offense to where it needs to be. So when the playoffs hit, they feel very good about where they are.
What you just sort of tiptoed into, I think, is the biggest, most underplayed story in sports right now. And that story is that the Shanahans that you played for, again, you didn't play for Kyle, but Kyle was in the locker room.
Yeah,
you watched him grow up.
I did.
But Mike obviously is a chief advisor to Kyle as we speak. So I call it the Shanahans Brain Trust in San Francisco. They said no twice to Tom Brady. They said no to Brady when he got pushed out in New England because obviously Tom wanted a fairy tale ending. He wanted the Cinderella story to end back where it all began for him near San Mateo, California, which is very close to Candlestick Park, going to the north or to the south to the stadium they play in now. It's about 20 minutes either way.
Correct.
So the point is that he grew up idolizing Joe Montana, throwing to Dwight Clark, the catch game that ended the Cowboy dynasty and launched the 49er dynasty. That's That's what he grew up on. That's how he came to love football, was through that team. So obviously, after all he achieved, the dynasty that he built in New England,
Right.
You would think that he would say, well, hey, I want to go finish there. And they said no. And then this past offseason, he once again, after he'd won a Super Bowl, and then obviously they lost to the Rams last year in the playoffs, but he'd had enough of Bruce Arians. We know the whole story. And he was momentarily free again, and he, quote unquote, retired for about 15 minutes. But the point was, in that period of time, he went back to them again and said, hey, I'm available, even for maybe a year or two to close this thing out. Are you interested? No, we're not interested. Okay, so then he goes on the shop late last June, this past June, and he uttered that immortal line. You're going to stick with that, MF? Really? Okay, well, it's vintage Brady. We don't get to hear him speak like that, but when you get in the barbershop that is the shop with LeBron and company, you just let it fly because that's what they do on that show.
We hadn't seen a quarterback in year 20. Nobody could have guessed. Even you, and you thought Tom Brady still had some years left, but you didn't envision him playing as well at 42, 43, 44, 45.
Not like this.
Right, exactly. So they're basing it on history tell us it's over. So that's what you got to base it on. Now, Tom Brady has defied Father Time. He's beat the odds. But I can't be mad at teams for not wanting to take on a 20-year-old, a 20-season vet quarterback.
Okay. So I think it wounded him deeply.
I know you all were watching that last night. They threw a holding penalty. It's the last 10 seconds of the game. Like, they're holding. Still winning this game. There's 2 seconds left. It's Tom Brady. It's too long. 3 minutes is like another quarter for Tom Brady. It's crazy. I don't want to minimize what we watch with Tom Brady because I really do think that this is the last season we're going to get with Tom Brady. It is just astonishing to watch what he is capable of doing at any given time. So yes, they're scary in the playoffs because that man, Thomas Brady of Nazareth is on the field, and he can do whatever he wants at any time.
Look at my boy.
Doesn't matter what you did all game long. He's gonna walk up to you and snatch your soul right out of the front of your neck and eat it. Throw it on the ground. Stomp. Yes, they should be very concerned.
I think that's the only way to beat this defense is to let Tom have his head just to run, just to go, and then he'll call more of the plays himself on the fly. There'll be a little more check with me, sort of option choice routes, obviously. And that's the only way to beat this team. I still believe that Brady's got one of those games left in him, and he's going to have his best game in this game, and I believe he will. And again, the one good thing that he's got one advantage, and that's Brock Purdy is on the other side instead of Jimmy G. That MF is not on the other side.
I think the thing is, Skip, but you still would have to probably trust Brady against the 49ers defense, even though it's highly touted, versus versus Purdy.
I agree. And I like Brock Purdy because he was really good at Iowa State, but he
didn't face anything like that defense at Iowa State.
No, I agree.
Looks like your first start will be against Tom Brady. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. Dude's been playing football longer than I've been alive. So, to have a first start against, the GOAT, it's going to be pretty cool. But it's just any other game, man. Just got to be efficient, do my thing, and play football.
I'm going to go with Brady to win this game because I think he will be hell-bent to win this game.
Oh, yeah, he will.
Tom, you told this story many times about growing up in the Bay Area.
Yep.
This is only the second time that you've gone home to play.
Yeah.
Just indulge us one more time, if you wouldn't mind, the experiences at Candlestick, the championship, and just what it means to you to go home and have everyone there able to see you.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. I've never, for as long as I've played, to have one experience there, and it was a great one too. We played out there. It was a rainy day. It was 2016. We had a really good football team, and had a lot of friends and family in the crowd. I ran out for pregame warm-up, and I remember Chip Kelly coming over to me, and he was like, damn, it's a home game for you. And it really was.
Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe as I post a new Tom Brady video every day.